Samuel? Are you there? Please, say something. There you are. Where have you been? I've been looking for you. You promised you wouldn't just disappear anymore. I've been looking all over for you. Ow! What's wrong with you? I don't know who you are. I don't know my own husband. You disappear every night. You only talk when it's absolutely necessary. Where is the man that I married, Samuel? I want my husband back!
What have I done? What the hell have I done? Oh no! I didn't want this! No! No! Oh, no!
Get on with it! Stick the damn fuse back in! I want to open the store!
That rickety pallet is blocking my view of the lower shelves. I can't see what's behind there. A battered paint can with about half an inch of dust on the lid. Dr. Rainbow's Finest Pearly White 85. I don't think I can recall having seen one pearly white thing in this whole building.
The fuse! The fuse, man! Open your eyes!
Photo developer. Looks like it's been there for a while, but the bottle's still sealed, so it could still be good. Fuller will hardly miss it, and even if, I can live with it. A small container of photo developer from Fuller's basement. It's full to the brim. My SLR camera, fitted with a flash too. I never leave home without it. That's a postcard of Biddeford. It's very useful for getting from one part of town to the next. But I can't just go off across the town right now. I've still got things to do here. There's not as much dust on the floorboards here. They're almost shiny, in fact. So does Fuller stand here every night with a beer looking at these awful pictures?
You think you'll be done today? How long does it take to install a new fuse?
There's not as much dust on the floorboards here. There's not as much dust on the floorboard. Oh my god. Who would want to be photographed in front of that backdrop? Well, maybe it was the trend. Once. Oh my god. Oh my god. If I want to look at awful pictures, then I can do it upstairs in the store. If I want to look at awful pictures... Let's see. A few plastic containers, bottles and boxes, light bulbs, cables, grease. And a small carton of fuses. Hopefully the fuses work. You never know in this place. There's just one fuse left in the box. But at least it looks unused. I reckon it's still out of work. It's not providing light, and that's not going to change until I have the power turned back on. Well, at least it'll give me a bit of light until I get the power turned back on. An old... I wouldn't accept it as a present, even if it didn't stink. A water faucet. If Fuller had a garden he wanted to water, he could do it from here. But in Fuller's garden, you'd get pretty well nothing to grow. An ancient rusted bucket with a little bit of water in it. With that water in the bucket, it's only a matter of time until it's completely rusted through. I certainly don't need a bucket, nor a load of rusty water. An old garden hose, with more holes than a golf course. I can't do anything with that. A beer crate with 24 bottles. All empty. And the bottles aren't dusty either. Beer doesn't keep long around here.
Come on! Get on with it! Replace that damn fuse already!
A light shaft with a grill. Leads up to the backyard. The hinges on the basement grill are rusted. No idea if you could open it. And even if you could, it'd squeak like hell. I don't want to open the grill. Why should I? I don't want to open the grill. Cheap beer. That's about right for Fuller. I just wonder why he has the crate in the basement. I can't see him coming down here every time he wants to drink a beer upstairs. An old dust-encrusted fuse box. There are a lot of wires coming out of the top of it, which then run along the floor joists. Doesn't look exactly safe.
The fuse! The fuse, man! Open your eyes!
Okay, then. Just like everything else of Fuller's, pretty well junk. The blown fuse must be under here. Fuller's already had a go at it, but again, he couldn't sort it out. The 3 other fuses look fine, but I should throw that away, otherwise I'll get mixed up. Well, that's that. Now all we need is some power. I think I can swap a fuse over without needing instructions. Okay, so let's have a look. Let there be light. Don't need this anymore. I'm not gonna touch that thing again if I don't have to. I'll leave it here in case the power drops out again. And that can only be a matter of time looking at the fuse. If I want to look at awful pictures, then I can do it. If I want to look at awful. So let's go up. A wonderful working day awaits, full of appreciation and deep personal fulfillment. Ugh.
Finally! You make a big deal about going to college, but you're too sappy to replace a fuse. Put that board outside in front of the store. Get on with it!
The postcards all show scenes from New England. They're the regular cards you see everywhere around here. Many of the things here are overpriced, but that's obvious. There's only one photo store in town. He takes advantage of that. Simple reflex cameras for private use. Nothing special. That's Fuller's camera. It's quite a good one. Huh. If good technology would make up for missing talent, then even a complete idiot like Fuller could shoot good pictures with it. That's Fuller's camera. It's... You know, that fat idiot's kit really isn't too bad. And pretty expensive. The lights look brand new. He's definitely not had them for long. Perhaps the store used to do better before, and he had some savings. Or maybe he bought the new lights on credit. The store couldn't have paid for them, that's for sure. The picture frames could do with being a little more professionally presented. But to be honest, they don't really deserve it. But what the hell?
Someone's really turned it.
Huh?
You've put it the wrong way around.
Yeah.
I'd like to get some portraits done. Some pretty black and white pictures. Have I come to the right place?
Oh, yeah. You're at just the right place. Black and white photography is my specialty.
Wonderful. So let's get started. My name's Angelina.
Oh, I'm Darren. Let's go inside.
Welcome to Fuller's photography store. What can I do for you?
I wanted to get some portraits done.
Ooh, very good. We can start right away, dear lady.
But I thought Darren would...
What? But he's just an errand boy. A pretty child like you deserves a real photographer. Here, go and pick up the post and take this letter to Mrs. Biba in the diner in the main square. I've got things to do.
Son of a... She seemed to see through him pretty fast. She can see what an asshole he is. New England Photo Service. I reckon a person has to be pretty damn desperate to have their pictures taken at Fuller's place. But he's the only photographer in town. And there are plenty of tourists here. Presumably he does most of his business with them. I can't explain it any other way, just how he keeps his head above water. I can only ask myself just who he conned into making him the elk design. Or then again, maybe he didn't have the picture made. He probably just stole it. Most of the pictures here in the window weren't taken by Fuller. In some moment of blinding inspiration, he must have decided to get some proper photographers to promote his business. Of course, they have no idea just how lucky they've been. Portraits, group pictures, wedding photography, and landscapes. And all of them totally unimaginative. Just as things should be. A collection note for a package. There's a little shop down on the harbor which is a collection point for all the parcel mail around here. If I hand in the note there, I'll be able to pick up Fuller's delivery. A letter from Fuller. I'm supposed to give it to Mrs. Biber in the diner. She works behind the counter there. An ancient, rickety tool shed. This is where Fuller keeps the junk that he doesn't just throw somewhere in the yard. So, not much. A reel of fishing line. There seems to be a little still on it. Only the line, I'm afraid. No hook. Fuller hung out the laundry yesterday, for him and his mother. I just found it somewhat surprising that a fat ass like him does the laundry for his mother. Alarming, even. The man is way past 40 and gets bossed around by his mother. A length of tow rope, a bit more than 2 yards long and in great condition. Ropes are always good. If somebody told me the old fat pig dumped poisonous waste, then I'd completely believe it. I don't understand why Fuller doesn't just get this stuff picked up. What does he want to keep it for? That's the cage for Fuller's mother's dog. But the dog is usually in the house. At least, I've never seen it here in the cage. The water bowl is completely dry. Perhaps I can still use it. A completely rusted bucket with big holes in the bottom of it. The handle's busted off. I'm gonna leave the bucket there. There really isn't much more I can do with it. The handle from a rusted bucket, compared to the bucket. I can only see into Fuller's office through the window. Sadly, I can't watch the photo shoot. I can only see into Fuller's office through the window is open, presumably to let in some fresh air. Or maybe it just doesn't close properly. Who knows? The window is open. Either out front or in the back. Fuller's gonna go nuts if I haven't done his jobs for him. Either out front or in the back. The window's barred. The bars seem pretty strong and are bricked into the wall. The window's barred. A solid iron grill. It's across the light shaft that leads up from the basement. The grill is very heavy and rusted into the concrete. It's gonna take a lot of force to open it. Why should I do that to myself? The grill is very heavy.
come on. Come on in. Take a look around. Buy something.
Thanks.
Ah, a young man. You a soldier? Bit slow on the uptake. Have you served?
Sir, no sir.
Ah, so you want to put me on, do you? Find something for yourself and then beat it.
They look like bazookas. Hopefully they're just replicas.
I hope not.
I prefer my Star Wars figures. Is Lucas ever gonna make the fourth part? Perhaps Eddie picked it up somewhere in the Second World War. A pair of wire cutters for cutting cable. I'd like to buy these wire cutters.
$2. What? You don't want to negotiate? You got too much dough, right? You got it coming out of your ears. Never worked a hard day in your life, and you got no idea on the value of $1, I bet.
$2 is $2. In your time, it might have been a meal out and a movie for two. For me, it's half a burger.
Be happy that you can just buy a burger like that. There ain't many beef farmers left. All that imported stuff from the third world has screwed up the prices.
And pretty soon you won't be seeing a single lonesome cowboy herding steers across the prairie and singing those old trail songs around the campfire. Oh.
Yeah. Typical youth humor.
A cupboard full of lots of different things. Books.
You want to buy something?
I'll have a look around first. There are 3 bottles on the shelf. I guess it's hard liquor.
Bourbon.
I don't want to get drunk. I guess those are Eddie's badges from his time in the army.
You got that right, boy.
Yep, it's famous. I've seen this picture hundreds of times before. Shelves of useless junk.
If you're just gonna bitch, then get lost.
Looks like a slide projector from here.
Correct.
A proud representative of the last decent generation. Everything after him was the beginning of the end. The junk shop owner. He appears to be blind. Maybe he's just putting it on. That would fit with the cliche.
Tell me, why haven't you served in the military? Over there in Iraq, they could use whoever they can get.
In Iraq, the war finished 2 years ago.
Well, you don't say. Read my lips. President Bush is gonna bring that Saddam to justice.
Sure. You know that Bush is no longer the president, right?
Well, he'll still bring him to justice. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. Sure. Do you know Fuller?
That idiot next door? Sure I do. You can never choose your neighbors, can you?
You don't seem to like him.
That guy hasn't done one damn decent thing in his life. Lazy bastard just sits around in his store, has his mommy wipe his ass for him, and lets the place fall apart down around his ears. Heed my words. He represents everything that's wrong with this country.
You got that right. From World War II, everything's just been downhill, yeah? Pity we haven't got any decent wars still going on. They've even ditched the draft.
Go ahead. You just make fun of it all, boy. A good licking or a couple of tours in Vietnam, that wouldn't be such a...
What do you mean, such a?
Ah, nothing. The guy's a pig. There's something not right about him. He's hiding something, I'm telling you.
And who are you? Is this your shop?
No! I just busted in here and you've surprised me, just as I was about to clear the place out.
Oh, how amusing. How long you been waiting to roll that one out?
Your generation lacks respect for its elders. I fought for you to live here. I spilt my blood for you.
And I'll pay your pension. So we're quits, Mr.
Edward D. Warren. Ed for short. Or Eddie to my friends.
Hello, Eddie. I'm Darren. Nice shop you got here.
In my time, it wasn't customary to speak to older folks using their first name.
But we're living in my time now, aren't we, Ed?
I think you should find whatever it is you're after, and then scram.
Just like I thought. Play the good citizen, but still chase after every dollar. Like the devil chases souls.
Come on, what then?
So, what's life like here in Biddeford?
You're not from around here?
No. I go to college in Boston.
Oh, so you're an intellectual then? Some sort of desk guy, an egghead who just talks clever all day?
No, I'm...
Then you're the artistic type. Some depressive junkie? You're fixing your problems with a self-help group, right?
No, I'm studying physics.
Well, we sure need that stuff. So what brings you here?
I'm visiting my mother over the semester vacation. She's been living here a few months now. Rebecca Michaels?
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Rebecca.
Oh, man. You know my mother by any chance?
Nope. I don't get out much. What you doing here, fresh sea air and all that?
You could say that, yeah. A quiet place to retire. An old radio. Looks like a piece of pro equipment. Are you a radio hobbyist?
Radio hobbyist? You mean one of those idiots who thinks it's neato mosquito when they have another idiot on the air who only lives 2 blocks away? I was a wireless operator with the Hells Devils, 8th Infantry Regiment of the 4th U.S. Infantry Division. I was there in North Africa, and in Sicily, then in Normandy on Utah Beach. I was wounded on the Rhine. That was my eyes. And I got a Purple Heart for it all.
And so, are you still a radio guy or not?
I'm keeping the tradition alive. I talk to old buddies real regular. Can reach him anywhere. I'd say I'm kind of an expert. Keep my things in good working order. Always prepared.
Ah, okay. Good to know. I bet that's an original radio set from the Second World War. It definitely doesn't look much newer. I bet that's an original. A hydrant, just like any other one. If this place ever burns down, I'll be the guy holding the match. An unbelievable mess of old guns and swords, uniforms, ships' bells, radios. As long as it's old, it's sold here. I think that's Fuller's car. I'm not one of those people who knows about such things and goes into fits of ecstasy when they see a classic. Who knows? Is that thing a classic anyway? I don't know exactly how old Fuller is, but him and the car must have been made around the same time. I really... I've only been here a few days. It exactly the same length of time the traffic lights have been on pause. There's so little traffic here that nobody's bothered that the lights don't work properly. It could also be that no one's actually noticed. To describe Biddeford as quiet would be an understatement. It sometimes seems to me that the place has just about died. A life belt. Years ago, there were pirates around here who used to lure ships under the rocks. They used to light false beacons, and once the ships had run aground on the rocks, they'd row out and rescue the cargo. Pretty senseless driving around Maine in a convertible. But I reckon that's not what it's really about. It was expensive, and that's what counts. Pretty senseless driving around. Pretty senseless. Looks like you can only buy tourist rip-off stuff in here. But the mail for the whole neighborhood gets dropped here, too. The windows look like they're polished twice a day. Apart from that, nothing much else to notice. A flat metal bar. It's broken away from the railings. It's pretty heavy. Back there is where the harbor ends and the natural shoreline begins. Just miles and miles dotted with lone houses. Often guest houses and hotels with views over the ocean. Back there is where the harbor ends and the natural A young woman. She looks sad. Biddeford isn't really a port, but there are plenty of boats here. Mostly sailboats. People sail out to go fishing or whatever. I'd rather keep solid ground under my feet. A young woman. She looks sad. Everything okay?
No, it's not actually. Carrie died here 2 years ago. She was my best friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. How did it happen?
You're not from around here.
No, I'm from Boston. I'm spending the semester break at my mother's.
Yes. Well, Carrie committed suicide. No one knows why. Everyone loved her. She was intelligent and always happy. I think there's still a picture of her in old Fuller's display window. A young woman with dark hair and green eyes.
Yes, I know that picture. A really pretty woman.
She had so many plans. After studying, she wanted to open a kindergarten here in Biddeford with her husband Jason. I just don't understand it. From one day to the next, she changed completely. Became really reclusive. She was depressed, melancholic all the time. No one could reach her anymore. Not even Jason. Even though they loved each other more than anything. Then one day, she just threw herself into the sea.
And no one knows why?
No one. Jason has never gotten over it. He couldn't help her. A few months later, he married that brainless bimbo with a convertible. He probably just felt so lonely. It's definitely got nothing to do with love.
He must have been really lonely.
Excuse me. I'd rather be alone right now.
Of course. Honestly, I've got no idea who that is. The city's founder, a mayor, a benefactor, what do I know? What a flashy thing that is. Probably some tourist's cool ride. Europeans in particular confuse New England with California and think they should be driving around in convertibles, Mustangs. Most of the year, an open-top car is a bad idea around here. With that kind of weather, Biddeford should make the raincoat a national uniform. How nice. That's stinking garbage, and I have no particular interest in it. How nice. It belongs to the diner. They do that whole nostalgia thing in there, too. No thanks. A red, white, and blue string of lights. God bless America. A red, white, and blue. Burgers, fries, and drinks. What more could you need?
Yeah, just down the street.
Thanks a lot.
Some people. A man in a white lab coat. In his 40s, I'd say. Could be a doctor. I really don't know if this place makes any money. There's usually a few people whenever I come in, but is that enough? Surely you can't get by on just that. I'll take some bread. Mrs. Biber won't mind. Ketchup, mustard, mayo, salt, pepper, syrup, sugar, and a bottle of vinegar. There's not much left. I don't think anyone will miss it. They're supposed to represent something like portholes. In reality, they're glazed display cabinets. The rear panels of the display cabinets are painted blue. They both have underwater scenes with plastic fishes and lobsters on them. Kitschy. And that's about it. A big, ugly plastic lobster. Not particularly appetizing. The moose is the emblem of Maine. But the lobster's a close second. What would a 50s bar be without a jukebox? The world's just wonderful, and aren't we all so very happy type music? Just isn't my thing. If there was maybe a Pearl Jam track on it, then I'd give it a play. But Buddy Holly doesn't quite do it for me. I'm not gonna feel any better if I stuff my pockets full of bread. I'm not gonna feel any better. The specialty is, of course, lobster. Like everywhere around here. I have to admit, they are pretty tasty. There's everything you'd expect from a diner. From breakfast and lunch, to coffee and cake, right up to dinner. The specialty is, of course, lobster. Like everywhere. They got 2 or 3 people working in the kitchen. One of them's Mr. Biber. Mrs. Biber works out here on her own. Looks like she really works her butt off. That's Mrs. Biber, I think. As far as I can understand it, she runs this place with a husband. Excuse me.
I'll be right there. What can I get you, my boy?
Actually, I'm here to give you something. It's from Fuller in the photo store.
Psst. Hey, come over here. I can guess what this is about. The dirty old swine. I should have known. Vermin ain't so easy to get rid of. Tell him
You better tell him yourself. Whatever it is, you...
Claire! You gonna talk all day? The customers are waiting!
get out of here and tell your boss he can go to hell.
Jeez. What the hell was that all about then? She sure didn't seem to be a fan of Fuller's. I got that much. And the guy in the kitchen, he sure wasn't supposed to see that she had mail. Mrs. Biber?
All right, what is it?
I was just asking, what Fuller...
Listen, I ain't got the time, nor do I want to talk about that scumball. Bug off.
Mrs. Biber? I'm only the messenger. I've got no idea what's going on here. I can't stand Fuller either, but
But you still work for him, don't you? Making some nice dough. Problem is, it's not his money. It's... Oh, forget it.
Mrs. Biber? Can you tell me anything about Carrie? She's supposed to have killed herself?
Yeah, Carrie. She was a really sweet girl. Always ready to help, always friendly. She wanted to open a kindergarten here. There's not much in the way of childcare around here. Parents have to take their kids for miles to find a place. She was such a lovely girl. She still had her whole life in front of her.
I saw a photo of her in Fuller's shop window. She was really pretty.
If I'd only known. Poor thing.
How do you mean?
It's not important. Too late anyway.
I'll press a little around here. A man in a white lab coat. In his 40s, I'd say. Could be a doctor. A man in a white lab... A man in a white lab...
Hello? Young man! You're Darren Michaels, aren't you?
Yes, and you are?
Oh, excuse me. My name is Newhouse. I'm a doctor at the health center.
At the health center? You mean at the hospital out there?
Well, yes. We call it the Biddeford Health Center. We aren't just a hospital. We have yoga courses and cookery courses and...
And what do you want from me?
Yes. I know your mother, Darren. We had a date here this morning, to be more precise. Me and her. We wanted to hang up some pictures your mother painted in the health center.
Yes, and...
She's not there. She's normally always... She's always punctual, isn't she? This kind of thing never happens.
Look, I don't have a lot of time right now. I'll give her a call, okay? As soon as I'm back in the store. Maybe she's forgotten about your little meeting, though.
If you say so, but actually,
I gotta go. I'll call Mom later and tell her that you're waiting for her in the health center. Goodbye.
goodbye.
And then I said to him, Jason, I need a new car, urgently.
Oh, yeah. And then?
Those are
What can I
banners
say?
and flags.
It's parked
Some
right
very
outside.
stylish.
You can't be
some
serious.
completely not.
Sure, I'm being
I reckon the big
serious.
ones must be for
A
yachts.
Convertible. Totally
The main
cute.
state flag always looks more
Girl,
like a
you're
beer
just
company
gonna have
logo
to show
me.
me later.
Oh, yes.
At least they've got an
there's
elk and
no
a tree
way
in there.
I'm not going
That's
to do that.
nice. So what have we got here? New Hampshire, Canada,
And in this weather.
something or other I
You
don't
lying.
recognize.
And what did he
New
do?
Brunswick or
Well, he just
Quebec,
left her
perhaps.
sitting there.
And of
Huh.
course, the
Well, she didn't
obligatory
deserve
stars
anything
and
better.
stripes in every
But that's
imaginable
not all.
shape and size.
You joking. There's more?
Yeah.
No thanks.
Now get this.
I don't have a boat. And if I did, I'd be sailing under the skull and crossbones. Or maybe a Popeye
Fork
flag.
Truck Pete just can't
Something a little
afford
cooler.
that kind of thing.
Coffee
Hey,
mugs,
it's me, okay?
little
And I'm telling
lighthouses,
you,
badges,
she saw him
mini
herself.
life belts with
But
Bitter
surely
Fruit
it
stamped
doesn't
on them.
look as cute
Plastic
as
house
my new
numbers,
convertible.
porcelain
Well,
lobsters.
hardly.
What more
Talking
could the
of which,
tourist
weren't we
heart
going to
yearn
go
for?
for a little ride?
Yeah,
I think
I'm
I'd
about
rather
to
my
have my
hand
lunch
fell
break.
off before I
Ah,
took any
yeah.
of those with me. A stand
And what did
displaying
your
a
Jason say
million
to that?
travel guides.
He doesn't know
New
a
England,
thing about
Quebec,
it yet.
England and Wales,
you go,
Holland,
girl.
the national
Now
parks of
don't
the
you go
U.S.
telling anyone, okay?
Girl, of course I won't.
There are too
What are
many
you thinking
travel
of?
guides to just go
You're
leafing
a
through them all.
darling, Rosie.
While
What was
I've got
that
nothing
story
specific
again
to
with your
look
new
for,
car?
I'll leave them there. There are too many travel.
Where
The
is
clock
it then?
must be busted.
It's parked right outside the shop.
At least it'll be right twice a
Ooh,
day.
Then we can go for a ride on my lunch break.
But isn't that still a
An
way
old
off?
ship's wheel.
So what is going
It's
on with
supposed
Fork
to
Truck
endow
Pete
a
and that
certain
sister,
maritime
what's her
charm,
face?
I guess.
Not the sister.
I reckon
That's
that the
Matt's
local
cousin,
tourist
that's who.
board is missing
I
something
thought
of a
she
hook
was-
for this place. I mean, what is there here that's a bit special? There must be dozens
and
of
then I
places
said
like
to
this
him,
one along the
Jason,
coast.
I need a new car, urgently.
An armchair
Oh yeah. And then?
doesn't look too
What can I
uncomfortable.
say? It's parked
But who would
right
want to sit
outside.
down in this shop
You
with the
can't be
charming
serious.
Rosie?
Sure,
I am
I'm
definitely
being
not
serious.
gonna sit in
a
that.
Convertible, totally cute.
Girl, you're just gonna have to show me later.
Oh yes,
Huh.
there's no way
Every
I'm
possible
not
kind of
going
form.
to do that.
Garbage and large object collection, telephone rerouting. Here's a form from the Make Our
And
Town Prettier
in this
Committee.
weather.
You
My mom's on
lying.
board of that
and what
one.
did he do?
It seems you should
Well,
send
he
in
just left her
suggestions
sitting
for
there.
improvements around the
Huh.
town.
Well, she didn't deserve anything
I'm not
better.
interested in
But
these
that's
forms
not
for
all.
residents.
You joking?
I've got a few
There's more?
things going on, which
Yeah,
like,
now
this
get
town could be a
this.
little. Handbills for local events. Grand
Fork
New
Truck
Year
Pete
Bazaar.
just can't afford
Hits a
that
go-go
kind of
dance
thing.
till you drop.
Hey, it's me,
Oh,
okay?
man.
And I'm telling you, she
The
saw
other
him
stuff's
herself.
small ads.
But surely
This
it
is where
doesn't
the
look as
locals sell the
cute
junk they no
as my
longer
new
need.
Convertible.
Lawnmowers, baby
hardly.
cribs, record
Talking
players.
of which, weren't
I'll
we going
pass.
to go for a little ride?
Yeah, I'm about to have my lunch break.
Ah, yeah.
There's a few papers here. Some sort of forms and a pad of blank
And what did
collection
your
notes.
Jason say to that?
He doesn't know a
I would
thing
imagine
about
that the
it yet.
enchanting Rosie might possibly
you
have
go,
some
girl.
objection to my
Now don't you
palming
go
a
telling
blank
anyone,
collection note.
okay?
Girl, of course I won't.
Maybe a
What are you
realtor.
thinking of?
Well,
You're
she's
a
a homemaker,
darling,
first and
Rosie.
foremost.
What was that story again with your new car?
Now, perhaps Mrs. Superficial is familiar with angles. Or maybe she's a Nirvana
Where is
fan.
it then?
It's
Really,
parked right
what the hell
outside
can
the
I
shop.
talk to her about?
Ooh, then we can go for a ride on my lunch break.
Excuse me?
Have you got something wrong with your ears?
No, I just wanted a package.
Something wrong with your eyes then?
Huh?
Listen, I'm talking here. Can't you see that?
Yeah, I can see as clear as day, unfortunately. But I have to collect a package for Fuller at the photo store.
There'll be no line jumping in this store. You're online, okay? Now wait until I'm ready.
Ugh, the young kids today.
Always. I'm always having a fight with them.
Bad parents, that's what it is.
So tell me, what's happening with your new car again?
Hello? Might I get served here?
Of course. Just as soon as
And that will be when? When she's lying on the floor with blood streaming out of her ears?
Well, really?
I'll serve the lady for as long as I see fit.
Yeah.
Ugh, the young kids today.
Always. I'm always having a fight with them.
Bad parents,
That car belongs to the world record talking lady from the shop. That could be...
Oh, my convertible!
Hello? Is it something like my turn now? Please, don't let me rush you.
What do you want?
I'm supposed to collect something for Fuller. From the photo studio?
Collection note? This is the one, right here. Have you still got another note? There's another package for Fuller here.
Afraid not. Can I take it anyway?
I might turn a blind eye for nice customers.
So you're not gonna give it to me then?
Hell no!
Hey, Rosie. Hard at work, I see.
What do you want?
You know the Bibers?
From the diner? Sure I do.
What can you tell me about them?
I don't gossip, but her marriage ain't exactly the best.
Really?
Yeah, she's apparently very nice. A little jaded and stressed out. Can't ever forget her work. But him? He's an asshole. Been boozing for 2 or 3 years and is a bit free with his fists.
Why doesn't she leave him then?
No idea. She's real dependent on him. The diner belongs to the both of them. And besides, where would she go? Nobody would take her.
There's a really pretty young lady I've seen walking around here. Do you know her?
You had a real good look at her, didn't you?
Do you know her?
Well, I wouldn't say no. She came in here and asked about a photo studio, so I sent her up to Fuller's. She interrupted a conversation I was having with a friend. Can you believe that?
Ha! No way. I don't believe it. Hey, do you know Eddie from the junk shop?
Yeah, sure. I know pretty well everybody here.
So what's going on with him?
He's single. Was never married before either, as far as I know. But hey, who could put up with him for long anyway? Those never-ending war stories. Can you imagine that?
Is he really blind?
I never heard different, but I wouldn't put money on it either. He's a chiseler. Maybe he's got disability just so he can make himself a few bucks.
What brings someone like her, or maybe even you, here to Biddeford?
Someone like me. You mean a fat woman in a state full of fitness freaks. You're one charming kind of guy, aren't you?
No. I meant, why would someone as unfriendly as you work in a town tourist shop of all places?
Well, you ain't exactly a picture of politeness yourself.
But I don't work in a tourist shop either.
Okay, look. I grew up in New Jersey. My father didn't think the neighborhood was good for me or my brothers and sisters. So he got himself a job in a paper mill and dragged us all up here. Satisfied with that?
And you just weren't able to get yourself a job in construction or driving a truck?
Look, you shouldn't go trying to take on someone like me. You're punching way above your weight, son.
Huh, I can't deny that. Hey, Rosie, did you know Carrie, Jason's first wife?
Of course I knew her. I know everyone in Biddeford. At the end of the day, this is the only post office.
And what was she like?
What's that got to do with you?
I just wanted to chat a little.
Well, we never spoke too much. She was always so quiet. No comparison with Juliet. At least with her, you can have a decent conversation. Jason's so lucky he got her now. That really wasn't a life for a guy like Jason. With someone like that dragging him down? Now, at least he's got a life.
Ah, so lucky.
Just between you and me, one shouldn't speak ill of the dead. But that Carrie, she was always a little strange.
Uh-huh. Is there maybe a package for me there, Darren Michaels?
Mm-hmm.
The lovely Rosie hasn't noticed, and I'm now the proud owner of a blank collection note.
Nope, nothing there.
A well-sealed package. Not very heavy. I can hear a light tinkling, as though there were glass bottles or something inside. A blank collection note for a package. If I fill it out, I could pick up a package from the tourist shop. I can't think of anything I can... I've got Fuller's package. I don't want to distract this...
He's sick. That disgusting pig.
What's going on?
Your lovely boss. Does he always try to grope his customers?
No, only the women.
That's not funny.
No, of course not. What can I say? Fuller's an asshole.
Well, he's never going to see me again. Would you bring the photos to the hotel?
Of course. My pleasure.
Thanks, Darren. That's really nice of you. I'm staying at the Wild Coast.
No problem. You'll have them this afternoon.
Thanks, my hero. See you later.
Huh. That's the guy from the diner. Is he following Angelina?
Hey, you're gonna gawk her ass right off. Whatever the bitch said, it's all a dirty pack of lies.
Sure.
Back to work. Hey, you got the package?
Yep.
Well then, give it to me.
How'd the photo shoot go?
Ah, shut up.
I only mean the young lady who...
That alley cat's gone, okay? No little goodbye kissy for little Darren. So now, get to work. The shelves here could use with a dusting and the gutter's leaky. And you still gotta take my mama's dogs for a walk. Go back to the post office again and ask if the new photo paper's already arrived. The mailman still hasn't brought a collection note. And the store could also do with a good sweeping.
He's cranky. I guess Angelina did a number on his ego. Nice job. Okay then. But before I start with all that stuff, I'd better give Mom a quick call and remind her she was gonna take the pictures to the hospital. And somehow I've got to get a hold of the film so I can make some prints of Angelina's pictures without Fuller catching me doing it. Fuller's camera. The film with Angelina's photos on it is definitely still in it, but I haven't a clue how I'm gonna get the film out of it without Fuller noticing. I'll just have to try later. Huh. Fuller. What can you say? A good reason to have doubts about humanity? I've only been working here a few days, and I've already given up hope that he might, just once, behave like a normal human being. This is probably the most stressful holiday job that I've ever had. Holiday job in a photo studio? Yeah, sure. Great stuff. Learn new things, earn some money. And the reality looks a little different. Fatter and more bald. Know what I'm saying? Excuse me.
What do you want?
The store's not doing too well, is it?
What's that got to do with you?
Nothing. Nothing at all. It's no doubt because of the vast competition here in Biddeford that nothing's going on here. I mean, what else could it be?
This is the only photo studio here.
That's what I thought. Mrs. Biber was... Yeah, well, she didn't seem to be very pleased to get your letter.
So? Did you read the letter?
No, but she seemed to know what it was about.
I bet. It was a bill. Who's pleased at getting a bill?
Should I go and develop the pictures from the shoot earlier?
You should do what I tell you to do.
But I could do them now, and then you don't need to later.
You do your job, I'll look after the photos.
I have to get hold of the pictures somehow. They must still be in the camera. Excuse me.
What do you want?
Do you remember Carrie?
Which Carrie?
She was a customer of yours. Committed suicide almost 2 years ago. Dark hair, green eyes.
Why should I remember her? Do you think I remember every face that walks in this joint?
Yeah, well, there's a photo of her in the window.
So? What's it to you anyway? Do your work or I'll kick your ass.
Excuse me.
What do you want?
The package I picked up was jingling a bit. I hope there was nothing broken inside. What was in it?
It's a damn all concerned to you.
On my first day, my friendly boss made it very clear to me that he kept an exact account of the amount of money in the till. A little hint that I shouldn't consider ripping them off. I'm not interested in the cash till. These photo mounts are made of a kind of pressed card. You can stick photos into them to make them easier to hang. The drawback is that they can get easily dusty. I don't need any of them. It's rare that I even hang any of my pictures. That's a light box for looking at slides and negatives. It works. No wonder Fuller needs some distraction. You don't even get 5 customers a day in here. Yesterday, when I was tidying up the sales room, there were all these stupid afternoon talk shows on. It almost made me go crazy. Hey, there's a small opening. I could easily fit my finger in there. Let's see. It seems to be a mechanism to wind it up. Behind it is a little button. I can't wind the clock up, but I can push this button. A cheapo, old-time cuckoo clock. A testament to Fuller's fine taste for stylish... I think Fuller took his mother on a world tour a few years back. Might be a kind of souvenir. Nothing stands out. Perhaps this little angular hole on the clock face. Is that how you wind it up? Nothing stands out. I should call Mum first and remind her of a date with the doc. Strange that she didn't get in touch with him. She's usually so reliable. The fatso lives on coffee and burritos. That ought to make for an early death. Fuller ate a microwave burrito with, chili chocolate turkey filling yesterday. I didn't even know that kind of thing exists. But it does. A very old-fashioned safe. There's a logo on it. M.T. Schultz, Pittsburgh. Looks at least 100 years old. I find it hard to believe that Fuller hides anything of worth in there. He's more the paranoid type that wants to protect his telephone bill from prying eyes. It's locked. But I've seen how they open these things in those old classic gangster movies. It's locked. Nothing in the whole damn world would make me want to open this. You've just got to have a look around here to get the impression of what it looks like in there. No. What have we got here? The US, Hawaii, something illegible, and Europe. Fuller's smeared half of it with his filthy paws. What have we got here? The US, a greasy map of the world. My World Tour is written next to it. A few places are marked. The USA around Utah, Arizona. Then over to Hawaii. Afterwards comes North Africa, possibly Egypt. Then China, and then Europe. Looks like somewhere in Germany. A greasy map of the world. The USA. A used up, chewed up ballpoint pen. He definitely doesn't need it anymore. And if he does, well, even better. Good. I filled it out. One package for Fuller at his address. I hope that does it. Should I go through Fuller's garbage? Well, that would mean going through the whole house. I don't think so. Huh. Seems like she's on the phone.
What the hell are you doing using my phone? While you're on the clock? I'm gonna take it out of your...
Yeah, whatever. Look, I just wanted to call my mother, but it was busy. It's not gonna make you go bust.
That broad spends the whole day on the phone, right? She already called up once while I was shooting that sweetie. Some drivel about Adrian in a mirror. I hung up. I got better things to do than listen to that kind of crap.
My mother called, and you didn't tell me?
The old lady's not all there in the head anymore, huh? Where you going? You're not on your own time yet.
Mom? Mom! Mom! Mom, can you hear me? Mom! Nothing. But she's still breathing. Okay, think, Darren. I need an ambulance. Emergency? Yes. My name is Darren Michaels. I've just found my mother. She's unconscious.
Take it to the hospital, but take it real easy. I'll be following in my car in a minute.
How does it look?
Difficult to say, Darren. She must have stumbled, and now she's got a serious head injury. Exactly how bad it is, we can only find that out in the hospital.
But how can she fall so badly that she...
It's not the time for that now. Was your mother taking any kind of medication?
I don't know. She always has a load of painkillers for her back. No idea.
Please, collect anything that looks like medication and bring it back to me in the hospital. What about allergies?
Not that I know about.
That's not good enough. Could you find out the family doctor's number? Perhaps get a hold of her medical records.
Yeah, I'll go look. I'll see you in the hospital.
Very good. Oh, yeah. And we need your mother's insurance card.
That too? Okay, please, can you hurry? Oh man, medication, insurance. It looks like Mom was having a cup of tea while reading, before she fell over. The cup is still half full. Why did she stand up and go over there? Maybe the phone rang? Maybe she got some bad news and fainted. That doesn't seem like her at all. That's Mom's medicine dispenser. There's a box for every... She always used to joke about it. She said that because of her back, she consumed more pills a day than a whole old folks' home. But she never took as much as she was actually prescribed. She always maintained that she'd just forgotten to. The old home doctor then gave her the dispenser at some point. I always found it rather stupid not to take your medicine, preferring to suffer in agony. That's gotta be most of the medication, but maybe she's got more somewhere else. I should check. Mom's handbag. All her papers must be in there. Alright, I found the insurance card. There's nothing else of interest in there, and I can earn my own money. There are pictures of me and Mom in the cabinet. I can't see any pictures of my father here. Mom hasn't got many of him. I guess the memory of his death is too painful for her. When I was a child, I always wanted to know who my father was. Mom told me about him, and that was the only time I've ever seen pictures of him. Mom watched whales with this telescope. This is a whale region. The whales swim past here twice a year on their route between Mexico and Canada. A nice one. Quite classical. And it looks quite expensive for Mom's tastes. You can swivel the telescope on the tripod, and hey, there's a compass attached to the top to show the direction you're looking. A nice one. Quite classical. It's a beautiful lamp. Pity it doesn't work. Perhaps the bulb's gone. My mother's old bureau. That's where she keeps her letters and financial papers and such. I don't fancy poking around in there just now. My mother's old bureau. That's where she keeps her letters and financial papers and stuff. Mom likes thrillers and horror stories, mainly old stuff. Edgar Allan Poe and the like. Perhaps it has something to do with her time in England. She's often told me that she worked in a castle that could well have come straight out of one of these books. A plant on the windowsill. No idea what kind it is. Looks like there's something under the flower pot. It's a little brass key. And Rosie and... We've already just had a few days of warm, sunny weather back to back. It's supposed to get worse tomorrow. I think the furniture's still from her time in England. Quite old-fashioned, but stylish somehow. What do we got here? Handkerchiefs, a glasses case, an art magazine, a few Valerian draggies. Nothing I can... my mother's address book. I ought to find her doctor's number in there. I don't think I'll find anything interesting in that chest of drawers. A bedside table lamp with a paper shade and a ceramic base. Cream-colored. When I was a kid, we used to always argue about how long I was allowed to watch TV. I used to be able to sit in front of that thing for hours. Now you couldn't get wild horses to drag me in front of one. I can count myself lucky the damn thing didn't completely frazzle me. Let's see. It won't open. It's got a leather strap running from the back to the front cover, and there's a lock on it too. I need a key. Mom's bathroom. Like her old place, nothing special. We weren't poor, but my mother was always modest. And by the looks of it, so is this place. I had a shower here this morning, and Mom laid on a huge breakfast. I ate some of it, for her sake. Back at uni, I usually don't eat anything in the morning. I had a shower here this morning. I ate some of it, for her sake. Aha, some medicines. Boxes, little bottles, tubes. I'll take it all with me. I think that's it. I found all the medication. Toothpaste, face cream, no other medication in here. An old lighthouse. Underneath's a sign with Willow Creek written on it. Perhaps it's from the place in England where she lived. She first came to the US in her early 30s, after the accident. Oh my god, there really is running water here. I never would have thought it. Oh my god. My mother keeps her pots and pans and that kind of stuff in these cupboards. A few pots, a shallow bowl, plates, a tray. I'll take the bowl. That's where Mom indulged herself. We had an ancient wood-burning stove at home that she used to cook on. She always said it reminded her of her time as a cook back in England. If I switch the stove on, then it's definitely not going to do the empty kettle much good. Mom would never forgive me. Being a cook, she was always very fussy about those things. If I switch the stove on... The kettle's full. The water will start to boil and steam. As I'm not much of a tea drinker, boiling water isn't much use to me. Yes, and that's got the address book open. Now then, what was that doctor called? Dr. Wakefield. That's him. And here's his number. I just hope he's still got my mother's old medical records. Hopefully the number's still okay. Dr. Wakefield, 555...
Dr. Wakefield's practice?
My name's Darren Michaels. I have to speak to the doctor. It's an emergency.
One moment, please.
Dr. Wakefield speaking.
Hello, Dr. Wakefield. This is Darren Michaels.
Darren, is there something wrong with your mother? Mandy said...
Yes, she's been taken to the hospital. She's fallen over and taken a knock to the head. She's not responsive.
My God.
The hospital needs her medical history. Do you still have it?
Yes, we must still have it here.
Can you fax it over to the hospital?
Yes, of course. Hopefully nothing's happened to her back.
Wouldn't the support corset protect her?
Not necessarily. The corset supports her spine when she's standing up or sitting, but her back has been so badly affected since the accident that a fall can have repercussions.
I don't think I want to know. I'll just go down to the hospital and find out there.
Do that. I'll have the records sent to Biddeford. I hope your mother gets well soon.
Yeah, me too.
Give her my best wishes as soon as she's awake.
I'll do that. See you later, Doc. Well, that's done. Dr. Wakefield has always cared well for Mom. With that back of hers, she could barely stand, sit, or lie down without causing her pain. And then she has the burns as well. And now this. I'll just get dressed and then go straight to the hospital. I hope she's all right. A coin-op telephone. It says out of order. If I was needing some small change, then I might take a closer look at it. But not right now. Hello, I'd like to see my mom, Rebecca Michaels.
One moment. Your mother is still being examined. Have you got the medication with you?
Yes, here. Oh, and I've also got the insurance stuff. When can I...
Ah, thank you. I will tell Dr. Newhouse. Please take a seat for a moment. I will let you know when you can go in and see your mother. Excuse me, Mr. Michaels?
Yes?
There is a problem with your mother's insurance card. It looks like she didn't make the last payment.
I don't know anything about that, and I really don't give a damn.
Obviously, it's a little unpleasant, but the insurance...
Look, I don't give a damn about the insurance. What's happening with my mom? How long is this thing gonna take?
I'm sure you'll be able to see her soon. But if we can't clear up this thing with the insurance, then we've got a problem here. You'll have to... Okay, Doctor. You can see your mother now. The room at the end, on the right. Mr. Michaels? I can't help it if your mother hasn't paid, or if the bank hasn't made the transfer, or if the medical insurance won't cover the treatment. Here, take the card with you and sort it out. In the end, your mother will be back on her feet, but she won't have a roof over her head anymore.
Thanks. How is she?
Not good, I'm afraid. The wounds to her head are quite severe. She must have fallen against the table with all her weight behind her.
Is she going to...
One should never give up hope. But your mother's in a coma, Darren. I'm sorry, but it's rather uncommon for someone to wake from a deep coma. Perhaps if she'd been discovered earlier, and there wouldn't have been so much bleeding in her skull.
You're saying that if I'd gone to her straight after our talk, then she wouldn't be here now, lying in a coma?
But my boy, you couldn't possibly have known.
Yeah, how could I have known? Fuller.
Sorry?
Fuller! She phoned the photo store. She wanted to speak to me, and Fuller just hung up on her.
Wait, no, that's completely...
She was conscious and wanted help, but Fuller...
Darren, get a grip. It was an accident. No one's to blame, and you should just...
Just what? Simply sit here at the bedside and hope that she gets better? I can't barely believe that.
Darren! You must...
Thanks for your help.
We'll look after your mother round the clock, Darren. You're welcome to stay here. I'll pop in again later.
I'm not gonna stay here. I still have things to sort out. That fat bastard's gonna pay for this. Typical hospital chic. There's a little medicine bottle lying here. Perhaps it belonged to the patient who was here before my mother. Laxativa. A powerful laxative. Sounds useful. A set of scales. Maybe for overweight patients? They certainly look a bit more solid than the ones you have in your bathroom at home. I'd better leave the scales here. What would I do with scales? I'd better leave the scales... There's a stethoscope. Presumably someone from the clinic forgot it when washing their hands. Doc Newhouse has definitely still got his. I'll take it with me. They ought to be able to rustle up another one here. The monitor shows my mother's vital signs. Pulse, breathing, etc. No idea if the values are positive. The monitor shows my mother's vital signs. That doesn't belong to my mom. Maybe it's from the person who was in here before her. I guess I should have packed a case like that for my mother, too. It seems to... She looks so weak. My mom always had a fighting spirit, and all this just because she tripped. Probably rushing around again, doing someone or other a favor. And then that stupid cupboard. Oh, and Fuller. If he even... I'm gonna squeeze him dry for this.
The mirror! Don't go through the mirror.
Mom? Mom, are you awake? Did I just imagine that? No, I couldn't have. My wrist still hurts. She must have been terribly afraid of something. But what did she mean? It seems to... She looks so weak. My mom always had a fighting spirit, and all this just because she tripped. Probably rushing around again, doing someone or other a favor. And then that stupid cupboard. Oh, and Fuller. If he even... I'm gonna squeeze him dry for this. It seems to... And all this... And Fuller.
No, I can't tell you that. You can talk to her son if you like. He's just... There he is.
Hey! Hey! You! What the hell? Perhaps there are medical records or bills in the cupboard. Forms, transfers. Making people well again is just an aside. I don't think anything in here is gonna interest me. My mom told me how she feared having to spend the rest of her life in a thing like this, even long after the car crash. Her back was seriously injured, and no one could tell her if she would ever walk again. Miraculously, I was left unhurt by our car crash. My mom was in hospital for months. My father died at the scene of the accident. I was about 3 years old back then. I can't remember the accident. Nor my father. I don't want to just sit here and wait for some news. I can drop by at any time and ask how she's doing. A few glossies and a health magazine. Oh well. I'll take the fashion magazine here. Oh, and the auto magazine. Two magazines. Well thumbed through and a few months old. Hardly any text. Plenty of pictures. Just the way those sucker celeb mag readers like it. A nurse, and perhaps an administrator as well. They could well be one and the same nowadays. The way things look, it seems that healing the patients is a kind of secondary activity. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Michaels. What can I do for you?
What do you think? You reckon my mom's gonna be okay?
Oh, you never can know. But for sure, there are people who come out of comas after much worse accidents than your mother's.
And folks who die from much less serious accidents.
You mustn't give up hope. Pray for your mother.
Statistically speaking, that has no effect whatsoever. Will save my time. What did that guy want?
He was asking about your mother.
What did he want to know?
He wanted to know if
If she made it?
Yes. But I told him we're not allowed to give out patient information. He ought to speak to you.
I don't know the guy, but he's gone out of his way to avoid me twice already. You know who he is?
I'm sorry, no. But he's got an accent. I think he's British. But with something else, too.
Listen, I don't want that guy anywhere near my mother. You understand?
Of course.
This Dr. Newhouse, what's he like?
Oh, he's very charming. A really nice guy. He isn't from around here. He came to Biddeford a couple of years back. But he's really settled and got on well, and...
Yeah, nice story. I wanted to know if he was a competent doctor.
Oh yes, of course. He used to run a huge hospital in Atlanta. He's apparently rather overqualified to be working in a little place like Biddeford. But I think he enjoys the small town life. Your mother is in good hands.
Are you from around here?
You could say that. I grew up here.
Then you surely must be able to tell me some exciting stories about the place.
Well, not really all that much happens here. You know, a young woman killed herself a couple of years back. She jumped into the ocean, and they had to call in extra divers to help search for her. They didn't save her, though. They never even found the body. But apart from that, there's never really much happening here.
You mean Carrie? Did you know her?
Yes, we used to go to aerobics together.
Any idea why she killed herself?
We'd all like to know the answer to that one. She was always so happy. We used to have lots of laughs together. But then, she changed. She also stopped coming to the sports events, and I lost touch with her. I had no idea she was having such a hard time with herself.
Thanks for the info. About all this insurance garbage.
Best to have a look through your mother's bank transfers. If she's transferred the money, then it's up to the bank and the insurance company to slug it out between themselves. You can simply drop it by with the certificate if you like. Then I'll see to it.
Thanks. About all this insurance
Best to have... You can simply...
Thanks very much for the information.
No problem.
There's no choice. I can't believe I've got to scrabble around in my mother's private things so the damn insurance company doesn't let her die. I mean, what are they gonna do if I can't find any proof that my mother transferred that money? Throw her out of the door in her bed? Alright, come on, Darren. packet of cigarettes. Is Mom a secret smoker? Oh, there's just playing cards in it. I'd have been surprised. Pencils. Run-of-the-mill pencils. I'll leave that here. You always need a sharpener for pencils, and I can't see any here. Huh. A little wooden box. I've never seen it before. Ah, there's Mom's transfer book. That's what I was looking for. I'll take both. The little wooden box I found in my mother's bedroom. It's quite hefty, seems to be solid wood. It won't open. There are some kind of symbols on the lid, but I can't even begin to work out what they are. I don't know about all this kind of stuff. Let's see. I reckon that these are my mom's account transactions. This is the rent, and here's 18 bucks, 45 to the phone company. Aha, and here's the transfer to the insurance company. That's from last month, so she has paid. Those guys need to kick up the butt. What's this? A letter? Dear Rebecca, I have received your letter and am pleased that you're well. Of course, I will furthermore send you the full amount. Your suggestion is well intended, and I wouldn't have expected anything else from you. But there's absolutely no question about your receiving any less, even if he has now left home. You have done a wonderful job, and it's now time that you did something for yourself. Strange. The full amount. Even if he's out of the house now? What's that all about? Here's my mom receiving a fat payment from... a $1,500 transfer from a bank in England. BCW Bank, Willow Creek Branch. Willow Creek? That name's familiar. Mom used to live in England, but was it in this Willow Creek? And who is this C character? And why is he sending her money? Here it is again. And there! She seems to get the same amount every month. Seems to be practically her only source of income. I don't get it. She always told me she got a monthly injury compensation payment from insurance of the guy who caused the crash, which also killed my father. I definitely wasn't supposed to see that. Suppose it didn't really matter to me either. It's just that... It's just not like my mother to keep secrets from me. I'll ask her why she's lied to me as soon as she gets better. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Michaels. What can I do for you?
I have my mother's bank transfers here. She's already paid for the damn insurance.
I was thinking the same thing myself. You know, the insurance company has made a boo-boo. Can I have them? Don't worry, I'll get on it.
So that will be the end of it then?
Yes, I'll clear it all up with them.
Good. A soda machine. Chucks out various kinds of sugared water. A bottle of soda. Great. A bottle with a carbonated drink in it. I don't need much more. seems to be dozens of cameras in this building. Perhaps they should film the screens, just to make sure everything's being filmed. At least there aren't any cameras in the patient's rooms, or in the restroom. We'll have to wait until the year 2000 for that. I'm not particularly morbid, so... shows my mother's vitals. The monitor shows. I'm standing here in front of my mother who's lying in a coma, and all I can think of is her lying to me about her accident. Just what kind of a person am I? Her total sincerity and starry-eyed idealism always annoyed me. I always had an honest and decent example in my mind's eye. If I wasn't. But now I'm sure that she lied to me, and I'm even more unhappy about that. What else is she hiding from me? No change. No change. She's breathing. That's the entrance to the police station. Whoa, that can't be right. It's the guy from the hospital with Fuller. Who is that guy? And what's he got to do with Fuller? I ought to listen in. I can still give Fuller a talking to afterwards. I'm not gonna get anywhere with the fishing line on its own. The dog bowl from Fuller's backyard. Nobody's gonna miss that. It used to belong to Fuller's mother's dog, but she spoils the little mutt half to death. Not exactly a fishing rod, but maybe I can catch something else with it. That should work. I've just got to be really quiet. If the handle hits against the door, they're both sure to hear it. Done it. And they didn't notice anything. The door is open again. I can go in. I just hope it doesn't squeak.
Yeah, Angelina. That might have been it. I wrote down the surname as well. For another $10, I might even remember where I put the note.
Not necessary. I know her surname. And your assistant, what about him?
What Oh, you mean Darren? That's my errand boy. He works here in the semester holidays.
A good errand boy is worth a lot. What do you know about him?
Why are you interested in him? You want to poach him from me? No problemo. For $100, I'll even write his notice straight away. What the hell? We'll say 50.
Not interested. Do you know him well?
What's with all the questions? His mother came in and asked if he could work here for a few weeks. He's a pussy! One of the eternally afflicted. Oh, I feel so bad and the world is so unfair and it all makes no sense. Boo-hoo.
So you don't know him?
And I've got no
That was close. They're both heading for the exit, and I'm none the wiser. Who is this guy following then? Me? Or Angelina? And why? I'm gonna ask Angelina about the man. She's British, and that guy's got a British accent. But first, I've got unfinished business with Fuller. Those are Fuller's dirty shoes for outside. In here, he wears other dirty shoes. If there was a garden outside and not just a garbage dump, I'd have guessed that Fuller wore them to work in the garden. There's clay and earth on the soles. Perhaps I could even crack the safe, but at the moment I don't have a good reason to put my life. Hey, where's the big jellyfish? Huh. Looks like Fuller's taking the film out of the camera. But I wanted to give that fat bastard a piece of my mind first. Where the hell is he? It works. An old, rather battered locker. Water and all sorts of other liquids have splashed on its door and left their mark. That's a photo enlarger. You put the developed film in the top and then lay a sheet of photo paper on the table below. The picture is projected onto the sheet and so exposes the paper at the same time. Basically, it's just a powerful lamp with a lens in front of it. A bit like a slide projector, or something similar. That's a photo enlarger. A small bottle of photographic fixer. There's not a lot left in there, but it ought to do for one more use, I think. The dish for the water bath. After the picture becomes visible in the developer bath, the development process is stopped in the water bath. The dish for the water bath. The undeveloped film is placed in this container. Then the developer fluid is added, and after a short while, the film is developed. I'd better leave it here. I can't do much with it outside the dark room anyway. A bottle of distilled water. I'll take that with me. A A flat dish about A3 size. If you're making photo prints in it, you have to have diluted developer in it. A completely normal waste bin. I'll make a note of that in case I want to throw anything away. A completely normal waste bin. I'll make a note of that in case I want to throw anything. What the heck? A secret door hidden behind the photo backdrops. A water faucet. If Fuller had a garden he wanted to water, he could do it from here. But in Fuller's garden, you'd get pretty well nothing to grow. This place in the floor has definitely got something to do with Fuller's secret door. But right now I've got more important things to do than snoop around after Fuller. This place in the floor is definitely...
What the hell are you doing here, boy?
Keep your hands off, Fuller! Because of you, my mother's in a coma.
What have I got to do with your mother? Out! Out of my basement! Go on, get out of here!
You should have told me that she called. It was obvious that something was wrong. I swear I'm gonna...
You threatening me? You? Threatening me?
If she doesn't wake up, I am gonna...
Out! Get out of here already! You're fired! Out! Out! Out!
You better pray she doesn't die. That's the only thing that'll save your fat ass.
Get out of here! If I ever catch you here again, you'll end up next to your mother.
You're gonna regret this,
You'll
Fuller.
never do anything, you pussy! You haven't got the balls! You haven't got the guts! You got nothing!
I'll think of something. I'll get him back. That man's gonna pay, you just wait. But I still need the film with Angelica's pictures on it for one of his camera. I could use his darkroom to develop the film and make the prints. If he's not gonna pay me, then that'll do as a partial payment. Now all I have to do is somehow get him out of the store. Hey, Rosie. Hard at work, I see.
What do you want?
I wanted to pick up Fuller's package with the photo paper.
No, please. I can't accept that.
Why not?
It's not signed.
Fuller has to sign the note?
Stupid. The mailman, of course. Fuller should ask him tomorrow morning. He probably just forgot when he was posting the note through Fuller's door.
It's not possible for me to wait till tomorrow. Does Fuller often get packages delivered here?
Yeah, a few times a month.
Why doesn't he have the packages delivered to his store?
He does, but when he's not there, the mailman delivers them here and then Fuller picks them up for himself.
Do you know what was inside the package that I picked up a little while back?
How should I?
What can you tell me about Dr. Newhouse?
The Newhouses? Well, they came here a few years back. He was a big cheese in Boston. Miss Newhouse has brought a good bit of style to this little town. I know her. My girlfriend Betty is her best friend.
Really? She gossips as much too?
We don't gossip, okay? You really want to know all this stuff?
Is that a girlfriend of yours?
Yeah, one of my best ones.
Does she sit about in this store the whole day?
Excuse me? I wouldn't know what that would have to do with you.
I just mean, has she got a job or not?
She doesn't need one. Actually, her husband has plenty of dough. And even if he didn't, then she could easily earn good money working as a photo model.
As a photo model, huh? that could maybe help me out some.
Oh, really?
Nothing. It's okay. Along with all the tourist stuff and the mail, you're the local travel agent too, aren't you? Have you got anything about a place called Willow Creek in England?
Course we do. Take a look back there on the flyers.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Now I wonder, there might be a mention of this Willow Creek place in these travel guides. Really? Willow Creek pops up in the index. Page 42, section Horror, Hauntings, and History. Let's see. There it is. Only a small box. Willow Creek on the trail of the killer. Willow Creek on the trail of a killer. Fans of the macabre will certainly get their money's worth. A scion of one of England's oldest families. The Gordon's Castle lies close to the town, but is unfortunately not open for guided tours. Murdered 5 people in 1981. Among these was Victor Valley, who was just 12 years old. The Willow Creek Museum awaits the horror-friendly visitor with a permanent display. Charming little town. And from this horror resort is where my mom gets her monthly payments. Wonderful. The bimbo reads fashion magazines. Why is she doing that here? Excuse me, ma'am.
Oh, it's you, the hoodlum from this morning.
Yeah, well, I was in a rush. An important job to do.
No reason to be impolite.
Of course not. I've noticed you're really into those fashion magazines. Are you a model?
Me? No.
You're joking. You must have at least thought about becoming a photo model.
Actually, I have been approached.
Oh, well, that goes without saying. You see, I work for a magazine from down south. Ladies in Chrome.
I've never heard of it.
It's the high society magazine in the South. The magazine for the top 10,000. I'm working on a piece about life and style in the far north.
Really? How exciting.
Maybe you have some recent photos. I'd love to show our readers what fine taste people up here in the north have. This is your stylish convertible, right?
It is! And I'd be happy to be at your disposal for your story. But I don't have any photos.
That shouldn't be any problem. There's an excellent photographer in town, isn't there?
Fuller? You can't be serious. That savage would never be able to light me properly.
Oh, so you don't know?
What don't I know?
Who Fuller really is. He's an internationally renowned star photographer from New Zealand. He's been living here incognito for a few years. He's working on his life's work. He's documenting normal folks' lives here in America. Of course, he's got to stay unrecognized to do that.
That's... No, I can't believe that.
I swear, in a few years, when he's finished his work, it'll be the photographic sensation of the decade.
I can't believe it. Show me some of his pictures, then we'll see.
Well, all right then. But don't run away.
No way.
My God, what a lame story. But vanity has always been the biggest weakness. If I can show her a few reasonable photos, then perhaps she'll lure Fuller out of the shop for me. Look, I've got a few of Fuller's earlier works.
Really? Show me! Which pictures are by him?
Oh, That one there. Oh, and there too. Oh, and here's another one. Exactly. Yeah, that one here.
They're really wonderful.
It was all just for the money. In reality, he's an artist, you see. But the project here in Biddeford is his real passion. Living incognito amongst us common folks, working on his masterpiece. Can you imagine what an effort it must have been for such a cultivated and refined man like Fuller to play a primitive, stinking, sweaty asshole?
That's true art.
You should call him. He could photograph you in your car up on the cliff top.
Now?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've got to hurry, my lady. I've got a deadline to meet in Dallas, you see.
Oh, of course. I'll call from my car phone and arrange a photo shoot.
Oh, excellent. But don't let him realize that you know his true identity. Who knows what that do to his artistic spirit?
I understand. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Shall we meet here again this evening?
Agreed.
Unbelievable. That's a postcard of Biddeford. It's very... But I first want to... That's a postcard, but I first want to... And there he goes. Now I ought to have a few hours to get Angelina's film and develop some pictures in the darkroom. The news of my mother's accident seems to have spread quickly. A couple of people have already sent flowers. No change. She's breathing. So many greetings and get well wishes. I think she's very active in the community. She's probably got a lot of new friends here. Lots of different people have sent my mother cards. This one's signed P. Huck. Wait a minute. That's the mailman. The mailman signed it. So now I've got a sample. I think I could forge his signature really well. For my mother from Puck, the mailman. Okay, good. I've got the original. I guess the signature is kinda half-decent. I'm not particular. I don't want to stop her. Hey, Rosie.
What do you want?
I wanted to pick up Fuller's package with the photo paper.
No, please. So how did you manage to scare up the old fart?
Yeah, I bumped into him in the town.
You were lucky. Here, Fuller's photo paper.
Much obliged. An A4 size package. Fairly heavy. Either it really is photographic paper, or it's full as dirty mags for the week. I better not unpack that here. Better in the dark. Alright, let's see. Okay, I know I need to enter 5 numbers. I should be able to hear if the lock clicks into place with the stethoscope. When it does, then you need to turn it in the other direction afterwards. But I need to get a move on. Fuller's had a clock built into it, so there's a time limit. That was the 5th number, but nothing's happening. The combination must from the beginning again. Alright, let's see. But I need to get a move on. Hey, that sounds good. Yes, there you go. Aha, a film cartridge. Those will be the photos of Angelina. Well, apart from that, there's just a few papers, a folder, and, whoa, a pistol. I'd better leave everything where it is. As soon as I've developed the pictures and made copies, I'll pay Angelina a visit in the hotel. I could really do with a bit of a distraction. Alright, now I've got everything I need to develop the films. That's got it. The clips are off and the screen's gone up. I have to ask myself just what Fuller's hiding behind there. It can't be anything good. No chance. There's nothing moving here. This place in the floor has definitely got something to do with Fuller's secret door. But right now I've got more important things to do than snoop around after Fuller. This place in the floor. First of all, light off. That's enough. The developer also has to be diluted. Great. Just as it should be. A dish with about half an inch of diluted developer. That would be the stop bath. The undeveloped film with Angelina's pictures on it. I've got to develop it and then make prints from the nags. Then I can take... The film is in the developing drum. The developer's still missing. First, I have to develop the film before I can fix it. The film is in the container. I made sure that it wasn't too tightly rolled so that the film is in the container. I made sure that it wasn't too tightly rolled so that the developer fluid can reach all parts of the film's surface. A bath of diluted developer. I have to lay the exposed paper. The film is in the container. Basically, it's just a... Good. Now the developer's oxidizing. It gives off electrons, which are then picked up by the silver ions in the light-sensitive layer of the film. The more light that falls on a location, the stronger the reaction, and so the place then turns darker. In short, the film is now being developed. Okay, I guess the film has to be developed now. So, that ought to do it. I'll pour out the developer. Now the fixer's gotta go in to stop the film from keeping on developing. Oh well, that's the end of the fixer. But what was left ought to have stopped the development process. I hope everything's worked. So far, so good. The film's developed. That's the first step. Now I have to make the prints. Let's see. I need photo paper and an enlarger. That's over there. Then I need... The film has been put in. An A4 size package. Fairly... Ah, nice. 50 sheets of top quality photo paper. The sheet is lying in the frame. The distance of the lens from the paper seems fine for the picture to be projected properly. Then let's have a go. The longer I leave the lamp on, the more contrast the picture gets. Let's try it. Okay, I think that's enough time. Here we go. I have to take the sheet out as soon as it has the correct brightness. Too early, it stays too light. Too late, it'll get too dark. The contrast is good and the brightness is right too. But the picture itself is garbage. I can't do much about that. Maybe some of the other pictures are better. Well, at least the exposure and development times seem to be right. I'll try it again. The sheet is lying in the frame. Okay then, Okay, I think that's enough time. Here we go. Yes, I've really got it now. Brightness and contrast are correct. If Fuller only had any idea about photography, then maybe even the picture would be good too. Maybe the next one. This could well take some time. 36 pictures and not one of them actually any good. How can a guy take a beautiful woman like Angelina and then photograph her so badly? But I can't do much about that. The pics have been snapped and I gotta take them to her at the hotel. At least I get to see her again. And it's also not my fault that the pictures are bad. What the? Mrs. Biba? Can I help you, Mrs. Biba?
Is Fuller there?
No, not at the moment.
Then can you give him this? Give it to him personally. As soon as he gets back. I gotta go.
I feel sorry for her. There's something not right going on here. Could it help me get one over on Fuller? Huh. But I can't put Mrs. Biba in danger. She gives the impression she can't take much more. If I could secretly open the envelope, then I could look at what's inside and put the envelope in the mailbox later. That would keep Mrs. Biba out of trouble. But how can I open the envelope and close it again? That's just the tripod. Of course, Fuller took his camera with him to the photo shoot with that bimbo. The kettle's already. Hey, the steam could undo the glue. Let's try. It's steaming. The steam's loosening the glue. Got it. The paper hasn't torn and the glue still sticks. I can reseal the letter. But first, I want to see what's inside. Holy, that's gotta be $1,500. There's some kind of blackmailing going on here. Mrs. Biber hates Fuller, and she didn't want her husband to see that I gave her a letter from him this morning. It would seem he knows nothing about it. But what's it about? Sex? Ugh, surely not with Fuller. Something to do with the diner, or from Biber's past? I'd love to send Fuller off to jail for blackmail. But first I gotta find out what he's blackmailing Mrs. Biber with. But tomorrow's another day. I'll put the letter in Fuller's mailbox and get myself ready for my date with Angelina. Angelina's photos have been developed and Fuller could come back at any minute. I'd like to see the look on his face if he did. But right now I've got better things to do. Hopefully he doesn't take too much pleasure in it. The hotel seems to have few guests, but in this season you'd normally expect a bit more to be going on. Maybe the others have seen the weather report. There's a storm getting up, and who wants to be stuck in a hotel on the Atlantic in the rain? Both cars have Maine plates, so maybe they aren't even guests. Or maybe they're rental cars. The mast is a copy of a flagpole you might see on a big ship. You often get stormy weather coming off the Atlantic, along with powerful gusts of wind. If the hotel owner ain't quick, he can go look for his flags in the Canada. Nothing to find. It's not exactly like the Florida or Californian beaches. The water here is way too cold to swim in it for long. I'm not climbing down there without a good reason. Looks very cozy. I bet you get a fantastic view of the whales from the veranda. But you know, that reminds me of my favorite film, Whales of August. That genius Vincent Price. In a really unusual role. Looks very cozy. But you know, the back room seems to be an office. Desks, files. I don't really like to climb into other people's houses. Not without a good reason. Plenty of people say that the New England coastal towns look Scandinavian, but I doubt if they built such big houses over there. I reckon this place was purposely built as a hotel. It's too big for an ordinary house. The owners probably live in some of the rooms. The majority are rented out. There are a few magazines lying around here. Recommendations for trips, tourist information. Nothing of interest to me. There are pictures of ships everywhere. Either the hotel owner has a real maritime interest or thinks that his guests want to see that kind of thing. Plants. I know as much about plants as I do about cars, and that's not very much at all. There's nothing in the pot apart from the plant. Nothing between the leaves.
Young man, those rooms are private.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that. He owns the hotel. There are many small family-run hotels in this area. Excuse me.
Yes, please.
You know my mother? Rebecca Michaels?
Rebecca? Well, of course! We sit together on the tourist board. You're her son? How is she?
Not good, I'm afraid. She's lying in the hospital. She had a fall.
Oh, my dear boy, I'll let my wife know right away. We'll send her a card.
Well, if you like.
So what are you doing here, then? Shouldn't you be with your mother?
I'm gonna go see her again later.
Well, please, give her our best wishes.
Yes, of course. Does the hotel belong to you?
Oh, it sure does. My grandfather built it, and I've been running it for the past 15 years.
Do you live here with your family?
It's like this. The guests value the quiet family atmosphere here. It really is something quite special to stay in a small, family-run hotel. I can't bear those awful tower block hotels in the holiday resorts.
And at some point your children will take over the running of it?
Yes, I hope so. My daughter's studying to be a hotelier in Switzerland. I only hope that our hotel here doesn't end up being too small and provincial for her. My son, he's got rather different interests.
What's he doing then?
Now, he's a musician.
Really?
Yes. He even thinks he can make a living out of it.
Some people live very nicely from it. What does he play?
He plays an electric bass in a band. I think it's called punk rock.
And you're worried about that? I should be looking after my mother or beating the crap out of Fuller's fat face. But instead, I'm standing here with a stomach full of butterflies. I don't know what it is about her, but man, I got it bad. All right, let's go.
Come in.
Hello, Angelina. Have I come at a bad time?
No, come in.
I've got the pictures with me. Here.
Oh, great.
To be honest, it's anything other than great. The wrong lighting, pathetic composition. Fuller has really no idea what he's doing.
I thought that might be the case. I'm sure they would have been better if you'd taken them. How would you take my picture?
Well, your face should,
Just do it.
Huh?
Don't tell me that you, the would-be star photographer, haven't got a camera with you.
Sure, of course.
Come on, then. I still need a present for my parents' wedding anniversary.
Very nice. The light is perfect.
Have you been living here long?
Oh, I don't live here at all. I study in Boston. My mom just bought a house here a few months ago. What brings you here? Look over that way. Yeah, like that. Are you an actress or something like that?
You got it. I'm a famous English actress on my way to Hollywood. No, but seriously. I study literature and history in England. I'm interested in English immigrants in America. Their aspirations, their dreams, their reality.
Wow, that's interesting.
If you say so, we'll see. I wanted to drift a bit, collect some life stories. I don't yet know exactly how I should organize the work.
My mother's from England, too. She came over here more than 20 years ago.
Really? Do you think I could talk to her?
That isn't possible at the moment. That's a very pretty bracelet.
Oh, thank you. I got it from my grandmother. She was always there for me. Unfortunately, she died last year.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Thanks, but you don't need to be. She was very ill at the end, you know? It was a relief for her. She gave me this bracelet shortly before she died. I'm sure you'll find it silly, but I always have the feeling that she's near me and looks after me. Perhaps we could do a few more special pictures for your portfolio. I always wanted to have a few photos of myself as a model.
Oh, sure. I don't know, what did you have in mind?
I thought maybe like this. Or like this. Or like this.
That's it. The film is full.
Oh, shame. I was just getting warmed up. What do you say we go for a meal?
Actually, I'm not hungry yet, but...
Tonight. In the diner. I'll pay. In return for the photos, okay?
Yes. Sure. Sounds good.
All right, then. See you tonight. Can you develop the pictures by then?
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
I'm looking forward to it.
Jeez. That was certainly something.
Yes, Miss Angelina Morgan has a room here. Would you like to leave her a message, or would you like to go out?
How many nights has she booked?
Damn, no more pictures on the film.
I'm sorry, sir, but you'll have to ask Miss Morgan herself. I can't.
All right.
Brown comb back hair, a long straight nose, eyes close together.
Which room is she in, then?
I'll inform her that you're here. Mr.
That won't be necessary. I'll come back later.
Thin lips, sallow skin, angular face, pointed chin.
But please, don't tell her I was here. It's supposed to be a surprise.
Hello? What's wrong? Sir?
And he's gone. What does this guy want? Excuse me.
Yes, please.
Since when has Miss Morgan been staying here?
You seem to be her friend. Ask her yourself. We run a very discreet hotel here.
Would that be the case if I were to leave a 20 on your counter?
Sorry?
Nothing. This guy, the one who was asking about Miss Morgan, had you seen him before?
Sorry, no. He came in and asked me a few questions. Then he disappeared. A strange fellow. Do you know him?
No, but I think he shouldn't be letting near Miss Morgan.
Of course not. I call upstairs, and only when the young lady agrees do I let him up.
And he can't come creeping around here.
Well, that possibility can't be completely excluded. But you can only open the doors from outside with a key.
Well, great. I need to develop the pictures before my date, but I can't get into Fuller's darkroom anymore. So I'll have to get by with just domestic items. Mom's bathroom will make a great substitute darkroom. I've still got the remains of the photo paper. And I've got developer. I need a red light, 2 flat dishes, and a little acid to use as a fixer. And something to do a projector, for example. I'll write everything down so I don't forget anything. What a day. Yes, this'll do for my red light. This chain of lights is gonna stay dark to me. A guy in a uniform. Seems to be a security guard. Someone who guards over other people's money for money. I don't want to speak to him. If I felt like some casual conversation, I'd watch it. Psst, Mrs. Biber.
Yes, what can I get you?
I no longer work for Fuller.
Good for you.
I don't know what's going on between you and Fuller, but I've got nothing to do with it. Mind if I ask you a few things?
If it's not gonna take too long.
Sorry, Mrs. Biber? What can you tell me about Bedford?
I grew up here. I guess I always wanted to move away from here.
But, well, that never happened.
I met my husband when I was 17. And we opened the diner here. It was a wonderful time.
Ah, yes.
I couldn't have known then that he was so... I have to get back to work. You want any?
Morning. Come on. Oh, it's you.
How do you know that? I thought you were blind.
You stink of perfume, like a whorehouse I once visited in Lille. Smells like teen spirit.
If you say so.
Come on, what then?
How do you get on?
I'm blind. How the hell do you think I get on? You idiot.
Does it hinder you a lot?
Well, sometimes. If I need to look something up. Looky here. I'm supposed to figure out what this coin's worth, and I got no idea. It's a rare piece, but it's pretty worn out.
Can I help you with it?
Oh, sure, kid. If you think I'll fall for that, I give you the coin, you run out the door like a punk. I ain't stupid.
Yeah. My mother's in the hospital here.
And?
Do you think she'll be in good hands there?
Well, is she sick? She won't be in bad hands if she's in a hospital.
No, I meant, are the doctors here any good?
Well, how should I know? Do you think just 'cause I'm old I run off to the doctor and complain every day? I haven't been to see no quack in years. I'm as fit as a fiddle.
Yeah. People were made of better, stronger stuff in the past, right?
Yeah. Get to my age and then we'll talk about it.
About the slide projector over there?
I won't sell.
Could you perhaps lend it to me?
Why should I?
Because you want to help a young man trying to improve himself. About the slide projector over there?
I won't sell.
Could you perhaps lend it to me? Because... How you getting on with the coin?
You got nothing better to do than annoying me?
If I find out the price of the coin for you, will you stop behaving like an ass?
Can't promise.
Show it to me. You can keep it in your hand. A woman's profile, a few stars and numbers. Have you got something like a coin catalog?
Yep, it's on the counter.
Boy. That's a flowing hair scent, wreath reverse, from 1793. $2,400.
Not bad. $2,400. I'll offer him $800. Seller's an idiot. Thanks. I owe you one.
Oh, I'm happy to help old, disabled people. Put one over on the other folks. You're welcome.
Perhaps, you could do me another favor right away. I lost my cane.
You've done what? How can you lose a cane?
Not how you think. I was playing poker and, had a slam dunk hand. But how could I know that idiot from the hotel had a straight flush?
You bet your cane and lost.
Yeah.
Who's got it now?
The owner of the Wild Coast Hotel.
Alright then. I gotta pass by there anyway, so I'll ask him.
Thanks. You know, maybe you ain't so much of a idiot as I thought.
There was something
Well?
else. About the slide projector.
It ain't for sale.
I don't want to buy it, I just need it for a while. I want to borrow it.
Borrow? Oh, and I get it back in bits, huh?
Come on, Eddie. I helped you with the coin, and you're gonna make a lot on that.
My blind man's cane is much more important to me.
So, if I get you the cane, can I borrow the projector?
All right, then.
Agreed. See you soon. Excuse me.
Yes, please?
I've heard that you have poker games here every now and again. Could I maybe sit in on a game?
I ask you, please. This is a respectable hotel. We don't condone illegal gambling.
I'd like to get back into playing poker. I'd be interested in a blind man's white cane as a bet.
Yes, nice. We sometimes play a little game or two of poker here, but nothing public, quite private. Never for high stakes.
Wouldn't you say that for a blind man, a white cane would be quite a high stake?
He wanted to bet with it.
You know what? I think I'll inform the police about your game. I mean, that can't be right now, can it? You can't take a cane away from a blind man.
Well, go ahead and call the cops. I've got nothing to hide. I won the cane fair and square. You can ask the other players.
If you say so. So what was that again about the fair and square win in an illegal gambling game in a respected local hotel? What would Rosie think if I told her about it? What would other people think, in fact? Taking the cane from a blind man. What a devious, slimy character you are.
No, please, don't do that. I am sorry. I really didn't want the cane, you know. Eddie just didn't have any more dough with him, and he threw it in.
How much did he stake on it then?
Oh, it's not worth talking about. What's $100 anyway? You seeing him today? I could give you the cane. Give him my best, and tell him he can consider it a gift from a good old friend.
Well, great. I'll take it with me and pass it on to Eddie then.
And give your mother my best when she wakes up.
Yeah. Your blind man's cane.
Well, thanks. You know, you're smarter than you sound. Best put it by the door. Hey, listen, if I can help you out in any way, you just ask.
About the slide projector.
It ain't for sale.
I don't want to buy it. I just need it for a while. I want to borrow it. I did help you with the coin and got your blind man's cane back.
That's true. Okay, take the projector, but bring it back today.
Yeah, I'll bring it back today, and undamaged.
Good.
All right, I've got everything I need to develop the pictures. It's gonna take a bit of time, so let's get going. I've got the pictures. Huh. They've come out quite well, considering the conditions I had to develop them in. All the stuff that I need for developing is in the bathtub. I hope I won't be needing it for a while. I'm just gonna take Eddie's slide projector. I wish I could make some reprints of some of the pictures, but there's no more photo paper left. But I'm gonna keep at least one. I'll go and visit my mother one more time, and then I'll get ready to go out.
And you think that the guy is following me? A student from England? Why?
No idea. I didn't say that he is following you. I only said that he might be. Perhaps it's me he's following.
It's all right, Darren. I didn't mean to upset you. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I don't know. It's just all too much for me at the moment. My mom's in the hospital, there's this thing with England, and then this guy.
Which thing with England?
Yeah, well, my mom, she gets money from England. A village called Willow Creek. Do you know it?
Yes. I even know roughly where it is.
I think it's a place where my mom worked as a cook.
And she still gets money from there? Her plum pudding must be heavenly.
That's the thing. I mean, that's more than 20 years ago. Who's sending her over $1,000 every month? And for what? I found this box next to the bank transfers.
Huh.
I've never seen it before. And that coat of arms with the 3 lions? That's an English emblem, isn't it?
It is.
What exactly are you doing?
I just thought you maybe wanted to see what's inside.
You know how to open it?
There were thousands of these caskets produced in the 19th century. There's a special kind of lock mechanism that's supposed to keep curious people out.
Well, it didn't really work.
What's inside?
A photo.
A man and a woman in front of a wrought iron gate. Is that your mum? And the man, is that your father? Is there anything written on the back? Blackmere Castle, Willow Creek, England, October 1969. What's wrong?
My mom.
Darren?
Do you think she looks 5 months pregnant?
Darren Michaels? My name's Conley. I'm captain of the local police department.
Are you gonna arrest me?
No, we're not. But we need to talk to you. May I come in?
Sure. So,
You work in Fuller's photo studio, is that right?
not anymore. Not since yesterday.
Not anymore. Why?
The work atmosphere. I quit.
Quit? Or were you thrown out? Was there an argument?
Why? Has something happened to Fuller? Please say yes.
Well, yes.
Have you arrested him? Or did someone beat him up in a dark alley?
Would you be happy about that?
Only if it was painful.
He's dead. He was stabbed to death in the early hours of the morning. We're still counting the wounds. Can you tell us anything about that?
No. Nothing you'd find fitting.
Someone must have been pretty angry with old Mr. Fuller. How angry were you with him, Darren?
So angry that I don't feel sorry that he's dead. But I've got nothing to do with it. Look, I saw him for the last time yesterday afternoon when he threw me out.
And you haven't been in the store since then?
No.
Darren, we found your fingerprints.
Of course, I worked there.
On the safe. Was that part of your job?
Look, what do you want?
Where were you last night?
I was in Biba's diner with a friend.
Correct. Angelina Morgan. You haven't known her very long, have you?
Do you have to be engaged if you want to go out with a woman in this town?
Very funny. Only if you did know her better, you might be able to explain why Miss Morgan murdered Mr. Fuller.
What?
She was practically caught red-handed.
Practically?
She was standing over Mr. Fuller's corpse, covered in blood. The whole thing could have only been clearer if we had a notarized, certified video of the murder.
That's crazy. Perhaps she found Fuller dead and wanted to help him.
That's what she claims too. And what was she doing in Fuller's store in the middle of the night?
What do I know? Ask her.
We have. She says she was told to go there by a man on the phone.
By the guy following her.
Correct, by a stranger. That's why I'm here. Miss Morgan says that you told her about her pursuer.
Yeah, absolutely. And the hotel owner saw him too.
I've already been to see him. He confirmed that someone was asking after Miss Morgan, but he couldn't give us a proper description. Did you get a proper look at the man?
I did. His eyes are close together, and...
Not here. Come down to the station. We can do a photo fit there.
What about Angelina?
Yeah. Well, let's see what the guy you saw has to say about all this.
Give me a break. If he was the one who called, he's not gonna admit it.
If there was a call in the first place. Please, come as soon as possible. We need that photo fit.